All right, everyone, welcome into a brand new show we're going to call Role Queue. I'm Aggro, and the game plan is we're going to have everyone from different roles come in and talk about how their role is definitely the worst in the game right now. Like, there's no doubt. And this week, it's Hunters. And guys, we've got Funballer, Zapman, Ataraxia, and Barracuda joining us. Guys, why is Hunter the worst role right now? Lay it on me. Is being level 17 over everyone else?
Because we're
just
having
bad?
to play mages?
That's a good thing. Mages are more fun, aren't they?
No.
Mages are probably the least fun characters in the game. Well, Guardians, I guess. But
Okay.
I would rather play anything
This
else.
is
I
going
would
to be
rather
a
play
rough.
Guardians.
Would you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You're just an
You're
assault man.
tanky and you get to one-shot people. Mages, I have Scream at my freaking tier 2 tower staring at me with Ares and not letting me pass because he
that's
thinks
the
it's funny.
scaries, man. Like, nothing you can
Wait,
really
have
do
you seen
about
the
that.
Guardian hybrid items, by the way? Yeah. You can get 50 flat pen and 300 physical prots, by the way. That's why we play mages in the long lane.
That's kind of the game plan. Funballer, you just won a LAN playing a lot of Jean Kui and that kind of stuff. Are you liking the way it is right now? I see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real good, man. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather play Cumber every game, but I'm not allowed, so Rafa said no.
Rafa
lucky.
said no.
Yeah.
Oh, we had to stop him playing Cumber. Like,
So that's why he's saying no, because he wants to play it. He wants to play it so much. Like, would you guys really rather be playing the traditional Hunters, or are you liking this kind of breath of fresh air?
Definitely the traditional hunters.
Yeah,
You just want to play
honestly.
Jing Wei every game?
Yeah,
You two, this is the
100%.
Jing Wei corner.
The
over
thing
here.
is, like, they just brought in they just brought in Fail Not, which is super cool and it's super fun and crit's really, really fun, and we can't even play it, you know? It's just, by the time that Hunters come back to duo, that item will be gone and it will not be good anymore.
Yeah.
And we'll be back to tickling tanks.
We missed our chance, you know.
Yeah.
Mid laners get to build it or something. But
Yeah,
That's why it
seriously.
hurts so much
Or
right
Assassins again. Like,
yeah, maybe
Right.
assassin. Probably an assassin item. I don't know.
bringing back the meta.
Well, we're talking about this current meta. I want to talk about some of your favorite metas from past years. I mean, when I think of Hunters being dominant, I think of early season 1 days where sprint is 900 gold on a 60-second cooldown and you just get to hit the gas pedal. What are some of your guys' favorite Hunter metas of all time?
Well, I guess I'll go first. I think definitely the sprint meta was sick because you could punish people so hard. No one got beads early. That was
Yep.
another thing. No one really had blink early, so you didn't have to worry about someone blinking on you all the time. And then you bought Sprint 3, which was the cheapest active I think in the game at the time for 600 gold, and like you were just zooming on everybody, soloing everybody. You had Heartseeker for insane fizz power.
Man, Heartseeker.
You know, and the junglers were there stuck with their beads, no blink, and it was good times, man. It was
Stack
really good
Heartseeker,
times.
50 stacks, and then you get like, I think it was like 75 plus power.
Yeah, it was insane.
That was OP, man.
That was
And
good.
I think it had MS on it as well.
Yeah. What a weird coincidence that was really good.
Movement speed, OP. Okay.
Power and movement speed. That's kind of weird. Funballer, was that one of your favorites as well?
Yeah, season 1 was fun, but I'm finding this season pretty fun. Maybe a bit more Hunters, but you know, there's too many mages right now. I think we definitely need a lot more, you know, Hunters, or probably like more items to bring back Hunters because they're a bit useless.
Fair enough. I mean, when you get to be Jean Kui at level 17, it's a lot better than being like Hachiman at level 17, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal. What about you guys? Barra, are you a fan of the season 1 days?
I would say I have 2, and season 1 and season 3.
I was going to say,
World.
season 3, you were hard carrying games. I feel like that might be one.
Season 3 having the Fatalis effect was just made you a true hyper carry. Like, in my opinion, outside of that, you've kind of always died to things as a hunter. Like, even when you get really far ahead, every other role seems like you have enough escapes. Unless you're playing Jing Wei, obviously. But it feels like when you have that Fatalis effect, you can literally 1v5. And we had so much farm back then. Soul, you had Fatalis as well, so you can throw a magical comp or a magical style in there. But it was just, those are by far my favorite.
You know, you guys could just like build upgraded Heavenly for 500 gold now and have the same effect, right? You know, I'm just theory crafting here. That's all I'm saying.
If we don't have beads, Aegis, we're we're gone.
Fair enough.
Those soul laners, man, they're gonna come one shot you if you don't have Aegis. So.
Oh,
Yeah, that is true. Solo laners can be pretty big.
I'd say I like the season 3 one as well. I think because in Smite, I think ADCs are generally weaker than other MOBAs. I don't know what you guys think. Probably yes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like you look at League of Legends and they're just they
Well,
don't even
that's 'cause
have to aim,
Right, they don't have to aim. They just
and they
click.
get to do way more damage and they shoot from further away. So you know, I think in general that was when we felt the strongest. But my particular favorite was season 2 in the summer split when we played on Titan because I did a lot of raw swap with Comfrey. and I played solo for the split. And Hunters, they had Heartseeker was at its all-time best it ever was, and because I think they nerfed it at the start of season 2 and they buffed it again. And then I just played Hunters. I played a different Hunter every single week. We came top of the split. And then it came to the Summer Land, they nerfed Hunters, and I fed my brains out. But the split was super fun, so I loved that.
Hey, that's at least you had a longer period of time to have that degree of fun, right?
A good summer.
So how do we get back to those Hunter heydays? Is it just Heartseeker with a bunch of power and movement speed? Is that it?
I have a few ideas. I think Thorns, very big detriment to Hunters.
Get it out of
here. Okay, Height of the Nemean, kind of acceptable, but still get it out of here.
Sure.
And I would like to build an item.
Okay.
For Hunters, okay?
Where are we starting? What kind of tree is it called?
It's going to be called Shining Plate Helm. Okay. It's going to have 10 flat pen.
Okay.
40 physical power.
Oh,
and 55 magical prots. But wait.
Hold on.
5% movement speed for 1,700 gold. That's my item.
Would you guys buy that?
100%.
No, I wouldn't. I think it's a bit too weak, honestly.
Yeah. maybe some more
chance. Maybe some crit chance, some attack speed. I don't know, a tiny bit of life, so like 5%.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a small bit. We don't want to make it broken.
Yeah.
Right. You got to keep it fair. I'm surprised that none of you guys said the throwing dagger meta. Wasn't that kind of fun to be able to play whatever you wanted in the Hunter lane back then?
No.
No? You didn't like getting crit randomly all the
That
time?
was okay. Whoever designed that item should be fired.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Crit chance?
Hold up.
I'm like 5% crit chance.
It's so low. Like are you just unlucky? Is that's your fault?
I mean, it is my fault, but wasn't it the Cyclone play where he
with
he-
honor, and he crits him at the tower and just two-shots him.
Wait, I think Oceans killed
No, yeah,
Cyclone.
Oceans
Oceans
did Cyclone.
Cyclone. Right.
Oceans did it to Cyclone because that's what everyone was like. Oh my God, Oceans is sick, and we're like, yeah, he's pretty good, but he also got like 5% twice in a row.
No, that's all skill. That's what crit is. It's you're better than. That's why vote is so good because you're all crits.
Who has the highest crit chance among all the hunters? Is it Vote?
Yeah, it's Vote.
Yeah, after,
Vote
that
was
clip,
Cyclone.
after that clip, that the highlight clip before MSI.
Yeah. So I think Cyclone has really good crit RNG
Yeah.
too. I don't think
Yeah.
Cyclone gets
He's
enough
got
credit.
good red buff RNG. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean? That's
It just happens to fall.
it
on
just
top
he
of
just
him.
happens to get it all the time. I don't know how he does it.
So unlucky that Paul has such good red buff RNG. For
Yeah,
you
no,
guys,
it's
right?
crazy. You know,
Like-
I'm like Paul. Which one of us is gonna pop off this game? And Paul's like, give me the red buff.
He's making his own fate, so
Yeah.
to speak. Another one that I'm a little surprised that you guys didn't love was that old Soul Eater meta where it was the defense. You were like these tanky hunters that could still box and fight. Where does that rank among your favorite hunter metas?
Which Soul Eater was that when you had? Was that
It
when
was
you
like-
had
You got a
stacked
first
it?
heal.
You
Yeah.
stacked
Give it a
it, and
heal.
then once you got to
Okay,
the full stacks,
yeah.
you fell behind a certain threshold and it burst healed you.
Yeah, that
But you
was
still
a-
had like lifesteal, and I think it had physical D on it, didn't it?
Yeah,
Maybe it's like
I don't know.
Did it not have HP, like 200 HP?
Maybe
Yeah,
that's what it was.
HP,
It was
yeah.
just
Yeah.
HP.
I mean, I personally didn't like it because it made soloing hard. Like
Sure.
it was just very safe lane. Like I wouldn't want to
could
go in
all
because I know
in.
he's gonna proc his heal and then I'm gonna get turned on or something like that. And
Right.
it took too long to kill people. So you kind of just never went for it in that meta.
Yeah, I can remember being very frustrated that these hunters were coming in and having like 300 extra HP and this burst heal, and I was
Yeah.
like,
See,
dude.
that's really weird because when hunters get items like that, everyone moans and they nerf it in about a month.
Exactly.
But then you get these items like Pythag and Dance to Play Helm, and no one complains about mages. They've got 200 HP and CDR and power and an aura.
Listen,
and
man,
protections and
when
pen.
we're
and
triple
movement speed,
splitting
and they got
every
all of that.
wave, we're triple splitting every wave. What do you want?
You're
from
not. You're really not.
us? All right, this is not the roll call attack aggro from the Ranges show, so let's keep it to the side lane here. Zap had his idea for a very balanced, maybe even underpowered item. Are there any other kind of new items you guys would like to see in kind of an archetype like that, or changes to existing items that you think that would make it more fun to be playing Hunter?
I've got one.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you remember Golden Bow? When you
sure
could
do.
build it on ADCs.
Yeah.
Bring that back, man. That was...
I was just asking you about throwing dagger, and you said no.
It
Yeah,
had
but this
crit
is...
chance.
Yeah.
Okay,
Golden-
so without crit chance, it would
Yeah.
be fine.
Yeah. Like...
Did that really like explode the ADC god pool as much as everyone kind of says it did?
Yeah, because you
my-
could play
Everyone
anything.
could
right?
clear. Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
could clear.
Yeah.
It kind of put them on a level playing field for the most part.
But imagine like Jing Wei with good clear.
Yeah.
Like, how do you fight that? You know?
You don't. Sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. Why has Jing Wei been like the best hunter for so long?
She has 3 steroids and the best escape in the game.
It's because she can't die, and that's it. I think the amount of damage junglers do, and solos do, and mages do, and guardians do
Sure.
right now is, or has been for the 2 years, has been really, really high. So you don't really have a choice. You kind of just gotta play Jingwei, otherwise you die.
Okay, what about this? I'm gonna toss a new item idea out there. You guys are talking about all this damage everyone's doing and complaining about that, right? What if we just gave you guys 80% lifesteal and let you just sit there and fight forever and just try and take them all one-on-one?
Nah, I think 85% will do.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we could definitely, think about it.
What if Aussie just like had its passive all the time? That's basically what I'm advocating
fun to
for.
me.
You know?
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Our damage might be as high as our soul laners at 15 minutes.
Maybe,
So
yeah.
Okay, but
We'll
soul
see.
laners just smack each other all the time. Unless you're Zapmanning at them, then you're not you're not going to get that level of damage. That's just the fact. You're not going to be able to get there. I think those are the coolest moments for hunters though, where you get low, you get your Aussie proc or a Bloodforge shield or something like that, and you just have to stand and man fight there and hope that you come out on top. Well, I'm going to build anti-heal and then you're going to die anyways, but
or thorns.
or thorns.
I was about to say that. You beat me to it.
Maybe you
I was
could do
ready.
like a high lifesteal rank discount item that where you take more damage, but your lifesteal back. That
Ooh.
could be
That's
interesting.
genius.
Be exciting.
But then you take more damage from thorns.
That is true.
But
yeah.
guys,
Scrap that.
Thorns. We have
It's
to
the counter
be.
to everything.
We have
Put
to
some
be ready
magical
for that.
defense on it, and we'll be good. I think.
Perfect.
Who is a hunter player that you guys think doesn't get enough credit? Doesn't have to be a pro. Could be someone in your ranked games. Could be a pro that you guys don't think gets enough credit for being a top tier hunter. But like for my example, I think even though might not be the best one, Panda Cat I don't think ever really got enough credit for how consistently successful he was in ADC and really deserves to be a top tier one of all time. But I'm talking like, do you think guys like WoWy don't get enough credit, or maybe there's an SML guy that you guys think are good? Are there any that stand out to you? They're all bad. I mean, that's fine too. They're all trash. I should have known better than hunters in particular.
I think
mean,
the correct answer is it's hard to see how good they are when they're not on good teams.
Mm-hmm.
And whether they're on good teams is because they're terrible or because they're an untapped potential, we'll never know. So
Exactly. Smite's
All right,
very
is there-
team-based.
You know what? I'm
Exactly,
gonna
yeah.
shout out Streak Up.
yeah, he's
He's
playing
actually
really
to
well.
be
I'm gonna
fair,
shout.
he's
I'm
pretty
gonna
good.
shout him out because I remember when I was scrimming against him and I kind of got solo by him like every game, and then we also got 1v2'd as well, me and Dardes. So yeah, I'm gonna shout him out. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, he's been playing really well for that team. I think
Oh.
he's been a big one.
That just jogged my memory. I guess I'll shout out Netroid from
Okay.
Sanguine.
Oh, that's a
He's
good
been
one.
a beast, especially at
He's
MSI.
sick.
I was super impressed by his play.
Yeah, I think that so much of that Sanguine team in particular, everyone talks about Shinto a lot of the time and Yarkor because he's been around a long time, but Netrioid's like a legitimate carry for that
Yeah,
squad.
I mean that whole team honestly is like maybe SPL level. I mean they're really really good. I
I'd
watched
say
them play and
definitely
they're
SPL
actually
level.
amazing.
That's
Yeah.
what they should be.
Amazingly good.
Yeah, kick out Dignitas and then bump them in.
We've already peaked, so I think it's probably
yeah,
give us
like
some more-
Sanguine, stock
Well, Space
rising,
Station first.
Dignitas, stock falling. That's the way it's got to
I've been
be.
falling for a while.
I was
ground's
there
gotta be
last
coming
year,
soon.
man. I was there last year. It gets better,
It's
I
a
think.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's that the longevity. I mean, you guys have been around for so long. There's going to be ups and downs, right? I mean, whether it's the meta or the teams.
It's the meta.
Yeah, right. The
Definitely
meta.
not me.
Stick to that, man. That's going to go well for you.
I would say Vedium. For some reason, I've just always been a fan of Vedium, like ever since like season 2 or 3, because everything he does, he's just so safe, but he has like the aggression style. It's kind of between me and Steve.
Yeah.
He's got a nice mix of both. But I think I don't know if it's his teams or like his personality or whatever that holds him back. But
Sure.
just watching from the outside, I think he's sick.
I mean, I think when I think of Vedium, I think of him as one of the most consistent LAN players the SPL has seen. I mean, he had really, I mean, you think back to the Enemy Days season 2, he played really well. Then season 3, he was on that Flashpoint roster that should have made it to Worlds that choked their last game. And then season 4, he was on footballer right here. Yeah.
Speaking of choking.
and then when he was on Denial, he was really good on LAN. I agree. I think that's a pretty good one.
I think I remember his. He had a LAN the end of season 2 for qualifying for Worlds. He played Neath like every game.
Yeah.
And no one really played much Neath at that point, and he just hard carried that set
Yeah.
to qualifying. It was so impressive.
Yeah.
He would
I
always
think
go
that was the big moment.
Crit
Like,
Neath.
he's really,
Yeah.
really good.
Dio
Yeah.
gloves crit Neath, and I
Yeah.
was like, everyone else, you see that and you're like, what are you doing? Like,
And he's literally just carrying games.
Yeah,
so that was
right.
really good.
The first time you get crit by a Neath, you're like, I guess that's a thing. You know? I didn't even know you could purchase that, but I guess it works for him. Outside of this meta, because I know that you guys will probably say gods like Jean Kui and Morrigan right now, if you could pick any god that you could play all the time in the duo lane, like favorite non-hunter gods to play in ADC, what would some of those be for you guys?
Chang'e.
I should have seen that one coming. What about Chang'e? That you just, I don't know, it just flows for you?
You just left click and then you just auto attack and you press 1, you press 2, you press 3. That's it.
That sounds like a Smite
yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Don't you think her autos are the best autos in Smite? They just feel really nice to like throw out.
I think it's when she like tosses it.
Frisbees.
Yeah. It feels awesome. It's the best auto character.
Yeah.
She feels so nice to play with her.
It's very smooth. Are you guys on the Chang'e train too? Is that what
No.
I'm hearing?
I'm on the Geb
Yeah,
train,
mages.
baby.
What?
I respect it.
Geb.
Full damage, get blink. You're dead.
One
Sick.
shot.
Yeah, one shot.
Okay.
It's sick.
Okay.
Next SPL set.
Sure, man. If you say so. Are you a fan of you max rollout on damage gap? Right. That's the way to go. Okay. At least I
Just
know.
roll through the lane and it's just fun. It might not be great, but it's fun.
You know what else is fun? Combo, full damage. Rangers math. You one shot people. I mean, I remember doing it in scrims last year. I think it was against Rafa, and I think he tilted after that in a rough one.
That's when he decided he needed you on the team.
Yeah, it's like, man, I just need some of this. Yo, Nate, how's your Kumba? And you're like, get out.
Yeah.
It's not a Jingwei. It's not a Jingwei.
No, can't dash away.
Or Sylvanas. Is it Sylvanas for you?
No, I actually.
Or
I would
Yanis.
be, okay, Yanis, yeah. I do have a pretty mean Yanis. No, I love Hades actually. I'm a big fan of
Really?
the old Mogao stuff with
Okay.
Polynomicon and doing the full damage. Assassin Hades. People who try to ult more than one person's Hades are doing it wrong. Because an assassin, you're looking for a 1v1 and you're one shot.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, don't bring back memories, man. Thank God Morgau's not playing right now.
Okay, wait. Hades could be good in this meta, right?
He could be,
You're
yeah.
alone all the time.
Yeah.
You get to insta clear the wave.
Are
It's
we?
great. I mean, yeah, he's got
Pretty much.
really good solo potential against some characters as well. You know, like he might be a sleeper pick.
Okay. Dignitas Hades coming
I feel
soon.
like I should be writing all this down.
What's going on here?
Watching the box.
seriously.
Interesting.
What do you got, Zap?
I don't know. I just, for some reason, chalk popped into my head. And I really don't know why.
ADCs are so like Geb and Chalk. Like, good lord, you guys are really
I don't know.
hurting for pain.
I don't know why. Like, people just told me to play it in a couple weeks ago, and I kind of liked it. Like, I'm ashamed to kind of say I liked it, but I did. I kind of liked it, and I don't know. Maybe if he was good, he needs more love. I just feel like
I actually think he's not that bad right now.
Really?
Dude, his ult knocking you straight up, that's a huge
that's
buff.
a big setup. Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually like set people up now instead of, it's like the Kuzenbo problem where you're like the carry trying to hit the person that's getting Kuzenbo ulted and it's making them impossible to hit.
All right, I'm gonna try to convince my team tonight.
There it is.
Let's do it.
You're like, yo, Sam, come on over and gank. I've got my chalk ult.
You've never seen setup like this before. Let me tell you.
They've got no chance to get away.
Just play a Willick support with Chak as well.
Oh my god. Dude, this is getting
Holy.
insane right here.
Only the
Has
ADC
anyone got a
is-
book? Like, I need some notes.
All these ideas and no hunters.
Just no hunters at all. What I want you guys to describe each other's play style. I think that's gonna be fun for me. And we'll start with Zap because this one might be a little bit easier than most other ones. Funballer, how would you describe how Zap plays the duo lane?
Yeah, boy. I remember in scrims like somebody's getting soloed no matter what every single minute. Like, that is Zap's playstyle. Somebody's getting soloed. Doesn't matter if it's him or someone else. That's what it is.
I like it. Nate, is it the same way?
Yeah, I'd say the W key. I just put a picture of it next to Steve, and that'll be it.
Instead of the
That's
face, just
summary.
put a W key.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Wait,
Bear?
is it scrims or SPL?
Both. Give me both versions.
Because Scrim Steve has got that W key pushed through his keyboard.
Playing my keyboard, it's not me.
SPL Steve is like still up there, but it's like 90% W. There's still like that 10% like, jungler might be here, support might be here, but it's like most likely I'm still going to do the play regardless and blame my team afterwards.
Sure.
Exactly.
But
Sam, where are you?
but still, I would say very aggressive, but still calculated.
I do want to ask you because you've been playing in Zap for the longest.
Yeah.
How has that changed over time? How has Steve's playstyle changed?
I think Steve respects me a little bit more.
As a person or as a player?
Probably as both, I think.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Because old Steve, like when we scrimmed in like season 0 or season 1, it was like he would be in the wave. I would auto attack him. He wouldn't care. He would just keep clearing the wave, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And then I killed him once, and then after that, it was like, this
You
guy
angered
might
him.
have a brain. Like, and then Steve started to shoot me sometimes, and then Steve soloed me. I mean, you probably soloed me probably 50 times or more, like in all the seasons.
From what I've said, it's definitely more. I think I've been solo at least 50 times. So that's just this season.
No way.
You just came across the
Yeah.
pond. What about your own kind of perception of your own play style, Zap? How do you agree with their current assessment of how you play?
You know, in scrims, I like to have fun. You know what I mean? I feel like scrims is an environment where you got to test your limits. You know what I
course,
mean?
right.
Very scientific here. I like to approach the game very,
Cerebral.
yeah, you
Yeah.
know. I like to think it's 200 IQs. It's really just smorking. But
Right.
honestly, I think, yeah, in the scrims, I kind of just want to test the other guy. I want to see what they're going to do, how they're going to respond. And a lot of times lately, it's been backfiring. I don't know if it's my age or like what's been going on, or my mages aren't that strong. I don't know.
I think it might be the Chuck.
Yeah, I was hoping that might be the turnaround, but
Oh no.
yeah, no, but honestly, yeah, I would say, yeah, in scrims, I definitely like to just go in like crazy. And in SPL, I've learned after everyone started getting really good, because in season 0, the game was new. No one was really that good at the time. And it was kind of a rude awakening, and all these players got so good, and they were just kind of fighting back. Sometimes I remember feeling like I can't go in against this guy, and I'm like, oh, shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, what's
right.
going on here? Like, am I doing
Is
less
this
damage
what
than them?
fear
Or like,
feels
yeah,
like?
like, what's going on? So I kind of learned to do the small stuff better. I would say, like go get back harveys and try to get, instead of poking the other guy and all that kind of stuff. It's not always going to be a solo kill, or it's not always going to be advantageous for me to go in. So I think that's kind of how I evolved, and that's what Barra said. Like, I would say 10% a little bit more reserved. 10%,
Sure.
yeah, I'll go get those back harpies, like fine. And I would say that's pretty much it.
But that's funny to hear you say that, because I think you have the most solo kills of any other hunter in the SPL. So that little bit of patience has really paid off.
Honestly, I felt like I had something to prove this season, because season 5 I got railed on. I actually got kicked from my team. Even I don't think it was justified, but I got kicked. And season 5, I just feel like was so bad for hunters. Doing like, everyone was ahead of
Yeah.
you. You really could not do anything. If your team lost, you looked like the worst player.
Sure.
Because you were the food, you were the fodder, you were the bottom of the food chain.
If your team lost or win.
You know what I
Fun
mean?
baller's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So and I like to think I'm immune to all the talk and all that kind of stuff, but I'm definitely not. Like, I see like, oh, he's washed, or like, oh, he doesn't have any more, like anything like that. And sometimes it creeps into you, and you think, oh, maybe is that you, or anything like that. And then finally, I started, getting 5 levels ahead of everybody. I'm like, oh, that's that.
Classic Zap.
Give me this meta over here. You know what? So yeah, I would say it depends the meta, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fair enough. All right, let's do fun ball now. Zap, we'll start with you, because it sounds like you guys have scrimmed a decent amount.
Yeah.
Well, what's it like playing against Kieran and Lane?
I mean, like he said, it's definitely like one of us is going to die. And, our teams are just like, here we go again. Like, it's not just one death. It's like 0 and 8. You know what I mean?
You're not backing down.
Yeah, no. We just go in. I'm like, oh, maybe it's different this time, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. But honestly, I would say I didn't really play against Funball too much over the years. And I didn't expect much from him, to be honest, because he was on SK last year. They didn't win a game, right? So
Right.
it's just fair enough. And then when I played him, I got destroyed the first game, like the first SPL game. I was like, whoa, he was actually the toughest hunter I played up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very surprised. I picked Kernos that game. I was like, I'm going to sit back, boys. I'm coming in.
It's the Steve show.
I'm like, listen, and then I got destroyed. I was probably the reason why we lost those games. And honestly, after that, I just respect Funballer a ton. He's very innovative with his picks as well. And yeah, and I would say that's pretty much it.
Nate, you've been playing against Funballer for a long time. I do want to get your perspective, kind of like I got Barra's on the transition over time, but talk to me about current Funballer here in season 6.
I'd say innovative, if I'm being nice, and janky if I'm not. But no, like, you're always the guy who comes out with the mages, even when no one plays mages. And I would say that your builds are as weird as mine, but worse. That's the important
mathematically
thing.
The math worse.
doesn't back it.
Sure, man. Blame Cheerio.
But no, yeah, that's what I'd say. I'd say like you're always looking for a new way to one up.
What about his previous playstyle? Is that kind of the way he's always been? I don't think that there's been as drastic of a change in Funball's playstyles. I'd say it has been for Zap, but I don't lane against him all the time. Do you feel like there's been a big difference
I'd
over
say
the years?
so. I think because when you're on European SK, you did win a game last year though. You beat us, right?
That was the only one.
But like, it's hard to experiment, right? I'd imagine, especially
Yeah.
in real games, because when you're losing like that, it's hard to figure out what's working, what's right, and what's wrong. So
Sure.
I'd imagine
is.
that your mindset was the same for it. But
Yeah, Barra, any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Losing or fumble?
Let's stick to fun ball.
I think he was very aggressive. Like Zap, I haven't played against Funball that much because he kind of just played Frey against me 3 games.
Was that fun for you?
Oh yeah. Team was just like, yeah, we can let Freya through. Put Bear on Jing, he'll be fine. He loves this. And I was like, they're just gonna first pick Freya, and then it happened, and it happened again.
But
and
it wouldn't happen a third time.
No,
Right?
it
There's
wouldn't.
no
but
way.
then it did. And I'm
That's
just
so
like,
unlucky.
I'll catch you guys under my tower. Like he might invade, he might go for you guys at mid. Like we'll see. But just from watching Funball, probably the best hunter right now, I would say. Wait, no. Best carry.
Yeah.
That's what I
Whatever we are over
Politically
here.
correct right now.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Just well, because it's easy to look insanely good on your team, and then you look better than that because you guys just work so well together. Because their mid trio is just god tier, and then he can literally play whatever he wants and just carry.
He literally played Chunga.
Yeah, Chonga, Poseidon. Like, did you bring in the Zonkui first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Nika was telling me to play it in the split, and I was like, nah, we're saving that for one. We're saving that for one.
and then he just carries on pretty much everything. And I think he just plays whatever his team needs him to play or whatever he wants to play, and they just make it work. So I think a lot of Funball is a lot of his team, but then a lot of his team is a lot of Funball because they just work so well together.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. All right, Nate, are you excited to hear everyone say that you used to be a passive player?
I think unfiltered aggression is what's going to be coming out of everyone's mouth.
Barra, what are your thoughts on Nate's play style whenever you lane against him or watch him play?
I would say he's kind of reverse Steve, or like
S key all the time? Is that what you're saying?
It's
10% night.
used to be S key, but now it's like I'm gonna hold W key at you now. So like.
So whereas Steve used to be all W, now it's a
Yeah.
little bit of S. It's
A
the
little
opposite.
bit.
Very little.
Yeah.
Please.
I would say he's probably 50-50 because sometimes I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, you're just holding W at me. Like, bro, calm down. And
Progress.
yeah,
We're
because
getting there.
honestly, he's just a weird ADC to play against because you don't really know like what he's thinking a lot of times because sometimes you just do play defensively and sometimes the switch just flips mid-game. Like, you're not even power spiking. You're just, like, holding your W key at me. I'm like, all right, I'll just sit back. Like, I'll watch some show.
Sometimes you just start feeling good all of a sudden. You adjust in your chair. You're in the right spot. You're like, oh, I'm ready to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way it goes. Steve, how about you? I mean, I think the anti-Steve back in the day may have been true, but
Just before you speak, I love you.
I have 3 ways to describe Nate.
Okay.
There's the like regular, quaint, laid back Nate, right? The S key player. And then there's the leather jacket, like long
boy
hair,
Nate.
bad boy,
Yep.
resident bad boy Nate, W key player, which he's proven that he could definitely do it. And then there's the malice Nate. Now I don't know much about the malice Nate, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm scared both ways.
Right.
Either way. But honestly, I think Nate's very innovative. He does do a lot of different picks. I would say that I wouldn't expect, like for example, the Artemis pick, and he like owned us with it the first 2 games, and it was just
Then
like a smart pick.
What happened the game after that?
We lost the footage for that one, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I don't remember either.
Yeah, we
But,
had a
like,
technical issue and the spectator crashed, but we didn't really see
but,
what happened.
What?
we didn't expect it, right? And my team's just like, holy crap, we can't stop, that pick. And I feel like that's something Nate brings, that kind of unexpectedness, that kind of calculated play, like, oh, this is good for the team, or this pick here is like insane against what they have. And a lot of times I get caught by surprise by like the way Nate plays, and he's definitely just a really good player.
Yeah, I think from an outside perspective, Nate is one of those players. I say it all the time with players like Raffer. Like, I could watch Raffer play without a name tag and say, that's Raffer. Like, you can just tell by the way he moves. I think Nate might have the most unique play style among all of the ADCs. Funballer, do you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, I do. I think
You don't have to, for the record. I mean, I'm not going to kick you
your
off the
items
show.
are definitely interesting. Definitely interesting.
Malice is broken, but
Yeah.
they released Falnut, so it's on a bit of a lowdown at the moment.
Right.
And people don't play hunters anymore.
That's
so,
true, yeah. So.
Yeah. Definitely very innovative, and I think like in the previous years, he's definitely been the passive player. I remember Rafa talking about it last year when we were taunting each other in scrims and stuff, and then Rafa was messaging me, was like, "Why is Nate playing so passive?" And I was like, "I don't know. That's how he plays." But this year, when he played Chernobog and I was playing Merlin, I told my team, what is going on here? Who's on this account? I think it's a Tricks Tank QVO effect. Something's going on there. And I was like, yeah, he's definitely found something. And that's how I feel about him.
Yeah, Nate, I mean, you've been pretty vocal in the past about you don't like the perception or don't agree with the perception that you are this super passive player. How do you think that your play has evolved over the years to where you are now?
Well, on the passive stuff, I don't think it's untrue. I just think that people who have teamed with me will know this, but I deliberately will take poor matchups or whatever to win a draft, so if my job is to come in for a team fight, if we have enough early game, then I don't mind taking a loss in lane and calculated way. So that's what I'm going to say about that. But overall playstyles, I don't know. It feels kind of the same to me. I don't think I've really changed, but
really,
people think I have, so.
Yeah, I think
it's hard to see your own change, right?
Do you feel like you've reached a new level this year, though? I mean, especially at the very beginning of the year, I think that you were playing.
No, I just think that the frontline trio on Dig is more solid and has better synergy than the teams we've had for season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like start of season 4, I think I did really well, and then in season 3, I think I did really well. And I think that Hunters kind of just do well based on how their frontline is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. The Dig team definitely has been working
Hunters.
Well. The most
Oh yeah, sorry.
Carries. Carries. That's right. All right, it's time to talk about Barrow. We'll start with you, Funball. What have you thought about watching Barrow over the years, and what's it like playing against him?
I actually haven't played against Barrow that much. I mean, we played one set this year. We played Summerland. Oh no, we didn't actually, because food poisoning.
I came back and
Oh,
carried a game, and then we had like a 20-minute break, and I'm just like, I'm dying.
All the adrenaline gone.
My face was so white. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't actually played against Barrow that much, but from what I've seen, throughout the years and stuff, I definitely respect him as a player. And I think he deserves more credit this year because I've been in that same position. Like, it's really hard to do what you want to do as a player when you're losing almost every game, if not every game. And he's trying his best. So to like the outside views, he might not be doing that much, but I'm pretty sure he's trying as hard as he can to actually, do something.
Yeah, that makes some sense to me. I'm going to save you for last, Zap, because you two have the longest history, of course. Nate, what have you seen from Barrow over the years, and how has his play evolved?
Well, we've played a ton, right? We play almost, I think, once or twice every year at LANs. We've played over the years.
That's a lot.
And honestly, for me, the biggest surprise, because we never scrim against each other, but usually almost every ADC, with the exception of Steve and yourself, when they scrim, that everyone is a whole W key player, and everyone jumps in and they try to solo each other, and they, in my opinion, ruin scrims. But Barra's the only ADC really who will consistently play the lane the same way he does in scrims, and that is pressure. Like, he will make you think that you're getting ganked in ways like that make sense. And that has always been one of the toughest things, because usually at LAN, especially in games that matter, people will turn that off and they'll dial it down. They won't take the risk, because if they die, it's definitely not worth it. And a solo kill is a small thing in the scope of it. And I think that Barra is one of the few people who doesn't do that, and his playstyle is really consistent in the best kind of way, and that he keeps the aggression up. And that is such a hard thing to do, and a lot of hunters cannot do that.
Yeah, I think that makes some sense. All right, Steve, let's, you guys, long history, of course. We got Barra's side of the story.
It's been like 6 years
of
playing each other. And I think back in the day, when I used to be on top back in the day, and I was like, oh, there's no competition or anything like that. Then I think we went on vacation, or we went to China, or we went to something. And then all of a sudden there was like, I think you were Vicious and Delicious or something like that. And they were like, oh, this new team, this new team's so good. And I'm like, yeah, but they haven't played us yet. You know what I mean? And then we played them, and we destroyed them the first game, right? The first like weekly tournament or whatever back. And then the second time they destroyed us. And I was like, wait a minute. Whoa. Like, what's going on here, right? And, I used to think Barra's just like an S key player, he picks the Artemis, or he picks the whatever. And then I remember season 3, when I thought it was one of my best seasons, we played at the the placement land, I think it was. And he played Soul, and I played Frey, I think it was, or I forgot what I played. But he went around the tower, right? This is when I thought I was better than him, right? He went around the tower, right? And I'm like, no way, Barra's gonna dive me from behind or whatever. And he comes in with his disapparate on Soul, and he autos me twice perfectly. And before the tower shot even hit him, he went into the immune form, and I was like, holy shit! I was like,
I just got words.
Yeah, and I was like, and I just feel like that kind of describes Barra in a nutshell. Is like he'll take his wins when they're there, and he won't, push. I feel like he probably doesn't have anything to prove. He's just so consistently good, and he always knows which are the best picks, and he'll pick them. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have to prove anything. He'll pick the best picks, and he'll do great with them, and he'll carry his team with them. And I think over the years, he's gotten a bit more aggressive now, where he knows he's the winning matchup, and he'll just go right to you and do that kind of stuff. So I feel like he went from an S key player, and now he can wear the W key shirt. You know what I mean? And besides that transition, everything else in between, he's always just been consistently good and knowing which are the strongest picks and just always being consistently good. That's my thing. He's just consistent.
Consistency.
Yeah, consistency.
The
I'd like to point out that that's hunters, not carries.
Right. Hunters in this instance.
Yeah.
I appreciate you checking us this whole time.
Just making sure.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Do you agree with Steve's sort of assessment, Barra, that consistency has been your kind of overarching feature?
I think that was something, pros and casters have talked about a lot, which is just I'm probably the most consistent ADC. But, I mean, I've carried seasons. I've sat back and watched Baskin do everything in seasons, so I feel like I'm a bit of a role player as well. But because last season 4 or season 5, whichever one it was, that affected my confidence a lot. I don't know if it was obvious from the outside, but I had 0 comments because our strategy was literally put Barra on Hachi or Jing, the safest hunters, give Baskin every red buff, put Barra on an island under his tower, and hope he succeeds. And that was my whole job, and I got roasted so much. Mixer, as Zap said earlier, you try to not let it affect you, but it's just I don't even go on Reddit anymore because every thread is just Barracuda sucks. What is he doing? I'm like, bro,
I'm trying
what do
my best
you want
out
me
here,
to do? We got triple killed in mid, or I got ganked, or they just did to me on the Morgan, Kepri came behind me or something. I'm like, we're not doing this stuff.
Right.
We're not being innovative on the map. We're just struggling, and it's just what am I supposed to do, man?
I'm here in the long lane, alone, again.
Then the Splice game, in the Zong draft, I was I don't really want Zong here, and your team's just
You got him.
yeah, you got it. I was I really don't want. Nah, you got it. You'll do fine. And bro, so I feel a lot of times, Nate, that's why I was laughing earlier, because you were I'll just take the bad matchup, and that's been my thing. I'll just take this defensive safe hunter. I'll just do my thing, and then I'll come in team fights and carry.
Sure.
And then it's hopefully the lane doesn't go too bad, but sometimes it does. God.
That's just kind of the nature of the beast, I suppose. Before I let you guys go, I'm going to ask you guys who the best hunter of all time is, the player, but no one on this table, because I'm not going to let egos get, involved. Zap, you can't say yourself. Yeah, I know. Who do you think the best hunter player of all time is that isn't sitting at this table?
I'd say Reels or Cyclone. Cyclone's he's just too good, man. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he eats for breakfast or what he has.
Anime.
What anime?
He eats anime.
Yeah, he eats.
Jesus Christ. Man.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
You got to
there.
start catching up, man. That's the meta these days. Zap, what about you?
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with Bumballer right now. I would say Cyclone. He, I don't know what it is. He just does what's good. I don't know. He just he doesn't make mistakes. You know what I mean? It's hard to say, oh, I can solo Cyclone here because he's pushing up when he's not supposed to. He's always doing the right thing and making the right rotations, all that kind of stuff. So he's definitely probably the scariest player right now.
Gotcha. What about all time throughout history? Reels definitely is one that comes up a lot. Emilito obviously comes up a lot. I think Panicat comes up.
I'd probably say Emilito because he was fearless. He was fearless. When the stakes were the highest, he was fearless. I remember vividly this Chronos play to dive Scylla. It was the deciding game in the semifinals, and he dove into. I was like, what is he doing? He's gonna die. He was 1/4 HP and like diving in the back line alone. And I don't know, I guess everyone missed him or something like that, but he like killed the Scylla and then he managed to get his rewind off. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, you know, to make that kind of play in that kind of setting really like speaks a lot about him as a player and like just as a human.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Nate, how about you?
Yeah, season 3, Emily. So I think particularly when it comes to lands, because like Steve said, he'll always do, I don't know, he'll always do what he needs to do, and he's not really afraid of if it goes wrong. Not that I think a lot of people are, but he's just got this special quality about him on that stage, and I think that it can be a bit of a double-edged sword because if you see Emily so like at the start of this season, it's been, you know, that's the bad
Maybe
side
he
of it.
should care a little bit.
But that's
just
what,
a little bit.
That's what happens when you haven't played in a while, you know. But like comparing now to season 3, it's the same thing. It's just the other side of it. And I think season 3, Emelito was the best hunter who's ever played. Well, I guess he played ages actually.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
Carries.
Best carry player the game has seen.
Bear, how about for you?
Does Dardes count?
I mean, I guess you could say.
Oh,
You really think Dardes was the best hunter?
Have you seen him this season? Like,
Yeah, but he's a mid laner.
Did you see him last year against me at
Yeah, I remember that. He was 2 levels ahead and he got solo twice.
I forgot about that one. I guess that was the one. Yeah, that must have been the second time.
Yeah.
My bad.
I would say Emelito from before and probably Cyclone this season.
Yeah.
Kind of got the same opinion as the rest of the guys on Cyclone. Just he kind of seems like the Paul of ADC players, where it's just like one of the best defensive players. Or not defensive, but if you go on him, how he reacts to your aggression,
Gotcha.
I guess is a better way to put it.
Yeah, I think that makes some sense. One more that I just kind of got inspired by your answer. Who is the best non-duo player hunter? Like, who's the best at playing hunters that doesn't play in the long lane? Is it just Dardes right now? Like, is it even close, or is there anyone that you think
Paul.
is the best?
I think
Paul used to be a hunter, so that's like, you know, also nicely done.
I think if Baskin played ADC, he'd be the best player because Baskin, I've been told, he always clutches when he needs to clutch. Scrims, SPL, no matter what it is,
No matter
Baskin
what.
will always, you know, he'll clutch when it matters and you can't beat him. If Baskin's on the team, you're just going to lose.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
still
I
going to
think.
say
Baskin.
Dardes. I'm still saying Dardes. I think he's probably the best player in the world right now. I just think he's I don't know, he eats some special baguettes. Like, I don't know what he does.
Imagine if they were anime baguettes.
Oh,
He combined the power of Cyclone, like that'd be game over.
Yeah,
That'd be game over.
we might as well just quit.
Right. At that point. It's
Or
five
start a bid
Dardeses.
war. Start a bid war on Dardes.
Who gives him the best salary? I'm guessing with your answer earlier, Barry, you think that it's got to be Dardes.
Herwin Apollo, dude.
Don't forget about the Herwin Rom in mid lane
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Those are some good days.
my God.
Actual answer probably. Well, I got 2. The Baskin, Uller, and Dardes on her. I think for those gods, just top of the line, like best play. Because I was watching their games on stream. It's just his on her play is just
It's so nasty.
straight up wins games. Straight up wins the mid trio, and it's just a spectacle to watch. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I've definitely like picked on her like, oh, we win this easy, and then I'm like, oh my god, I suck. Like, this is terrible. How does he do it all the time? Dardes, absolute beast. But guys, thank you very much for joining us to talk about some ADC. Thank you very much for watching at home as well. Let us know what role you want to do next, some players you might want to see and hear from on those shows. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.